Patreon Saturdays. We are going to get right into it today because Kim has news from Paris. Dolores and Teresa are over there with their men. Kim has got something to say. We talk about all this stuff coming out about the Gorgas, and we talk about the RHONJ pause and Rina and Erica's earrings. A little bit about Jen Shah and the plea and the sentencing being pushed. Here are some clips, and then head on over to Patreon, the only place you will find the full chat. Most of you have joined our Patreon. If not, do you realize what you're missing? So head on over, and here are some clips with Miss Kim D.
Good morning, David.
Can I just say that, like, we are now doing this on Tuesday. Like, have we just given up on Salt Lake? Like, we don't even kind of care.
Everyone has. People are DMing me, David, saying it's boring. They don't watch it. I mean, it's really, I don't even, what were they thinking when they were filming this? What were they thinking?
I mean, and listen, we have enough to talk about. This could be their last
season. This could be their last season because it's that boring. But maybe I'll start going back and watching some of the older episodes, and we'll start with that too, because a lot of people are asking me to do that. So it'll be fun.
Or at least season one. Like, do you remember the pilot episode in the hair salon? Because I don't, with Danielle and Teresa and Dina. Like, those were the days, man. Those were the days.
And the book. Remember, they were all talking about Danielle in the book. And then Carlos crawls under the table and hands the book to Danielle, and she puts it on the table. And how about when Caroline Manzo goes, "We're thick as thieves"? What happened to that?
I didn't know that Carlos went under the table and just
he went under the table with the book, he told, and handed it to her, and she puts it on the table and she looks at everybody. But in the meantime, all this thick as thieves stuff, and how Caroline was sticking up for Dina, saying I did it, about showing people the book and asking the questions. No one talks to each other. None of them talk to each other.
They have that in common. Teresa and Caroline are really, in another lifetime, they would be best friends.
Yeah, in another lifetime. But Caroline, she's smart. Yeah, what do you think of the Paris trip? Do you think it was, I thought, I got some inside scoop.
Really? You can share it. You can share it for all these people.
Yeah. I love my Dolores, but it's about Dolores. And I don't know how true this is. I heard that, I thought that Paulie was going to put a ring on it.
Yeah.
I heard he still has an issue with Frank being on the show with her. I'll dig deeper, but came from a pretty good source.
Dolores.
Yeah. What was I going to say?
Man.
Yeah, there's so much more going on. I mean, it's just crazy. So Jen Shah had her sentencing pushed. This judge just keeps pushing it. Yeah, sure. Why not? Enjoy the holidays. We'll sentence you in January. I can't believe the time that the Grizzlies got. More than murderers and rapists nowadays, the way things are going with these DAs. And my God.
The judge said, the direct quote from the judge, "You've shown no remorse in this whole."
But I get that. But be on the up and up. Okay, speaking of that, what about the Gorgas? The Gorgas, what about what's going on with them? This is some crazy shit. It's the internet. My DMs are blowing up. People are sending me lawsuits that Melissa received at the new home. People are all talking shit about the house. People are saying they didn't pay for half the stuff. All the old things are coming out about Joe. And they're saying that the reason why the Gorgas lost their home, the older Gorgas, is because they had to put up money for Joe's defense for a rape case that no one's really ever seen. It's just been rumored. I mean, it's just.
What do you mean? You mean Teresa's parents? What
they didn't pay for
lawsuits?
The concrete. It's all over the internet. People are sending it to me.
I don't give a fuck what people think about us. I know you don't either. There seems to be some confusion that all of a sudden Kim D in New Jersey is a huge fan of Teresa Giudice. And it's like, guys,
that's not true.
Calm down. One thing has nothing. Everyone thinks because we are now talking about the Gorgas so much, they're in the news. They're
in the news.
Like, it doesn't mean that it's team Teresa. You're team nobody. But everyone thinks that you are a huge Teresa fan now. I'm just letting you know that you apparently love Teresa these days, according to these YouTube people.
Listen, I do not love Teresa. I happen to dislike her immensely. But here's the thing. David and I spoke about Luis Rulajas's influence and his sister, I think, that we feel, now it could be an act, that his influence, whatever he's doing, is good for Teresa. Okay. She seems like a softer, kinder person. I mean, I know those are two very strange words to put connected to Teresa, but it just seems that way. So all I said was, because I talk shit about Relajas all the time. I talk shit. But I did say to David, I feel whatever, put everything he is aside, everything he's done in his past aside, whatever scam he's pulling, I feel he's a good influence on Teresa. Is that going to last? I don't know. David and I think David can agree with me. We don't think there's anything wrong with Joe and Melissa and Kathy and Richie coming on the show. Fuck you, Teresa. You don't own Bravo. You don't own. But where Melissa goes wrong is she loves to lie. She's a pathological liar. Come out and say, yeah, fuck you. I wanted to be on the show. Yeah, I wanted to be on it. But they know how they got on because they talked a lot of shit on that tape. So it is what it is. Just own it, girl. Melissa, start owning things and things can change. You could do a complete turnaround. Things can change. You got to own it. Stop lying. Go ahead, David. It's your turn.
I first of all want to apologize to Dorit and PK on the air because 2 or 3 years ago, I was asked on another podcast, who I think the next Bravo scandal was after Erica and Jen Shaw and all of that. And I said Dorit and PK. I think they're one step away from a scandal. And I would like to apologize because I no longer think that they're the next Bravo scandal. I truly do think it's Melissa and Joe. I truly do. Has this woman, Melissa Gorga, learned nothing? She is posting this house. She is showing the outside. She is showing the foyer. She is showing the closet. Then when you get to the closet, you see a Dior bag. First of all, girl, I hope you have a security system because you're going to be robbed. You're literally going to be robbed. First of all, okay? When she's in the closet, I saw Dior and this and that. And I'm like, you're asking to be robbed. Second of all, I hope your tax return this year shows that you made $1, $2, $3, $4 million because somebody at the IRS is going to look at how much money you say you made and how much you're claiming and what you're paying in taxes. And they're going to look at the size of this new house and they're going to do the math and they're going to say, what does your husband do? What do you do? How much have you claimed the past 5 years? You cannot afford this house. So who paid for this house? And they are going to dig and they're going to say, oh, you can afford it because you make $2 million from Bravo and you're claiming you make 100,000. So now I'm telling you,
I'm in a great list.
I don't wish this upon them.
Me either. Oh my God, no.
I feel it. They are coming for you, Melissa, and they are coming for you, Joe. And this does not mean I'm Team Teresa. They are going to be in trouble. They are the next two because they are in fucking secure little dick bitches that have to show off this house. And it's all, let's just face it, this is all being posted to show Teresa. All of it.
Yes, I agree. And
I am riled up today. I'm
right. I don't like any of that stuff. Let me tell you something. When I was on the show, so
what's going to happen when Dolores comes back and not engaged, Kim?
I don't know.
Well, for someone who doesn't know, Kim certainly goes on to talk a lot about Dolores and her possible engagement to Paulie and Teresa and the Paris trip and all this stuff she heard about Paulie not really liking Frank around too much. Man, Kim has a lot to spill today. And yet we talk a little bit more about Jen Shaw and everything. We talk about Beverly Hills too and the earrings and all this stuff now with Diana. And did she really pay to help the victims? It's changing by the day and the pause. And it all comes back to RHONJ though, because Kim has a lot to say. So head on over to Patreon. We are just getting started. And yes, I am riled up, and Kim is riled up. I get her even more riled up as the chat goes on. So happy Saturday. Enjoy your Patreon. Have fun.